All right, so the big news that we are following right now is Vikas Singh, Sushant Singh Rajput's family's lawyer, has just addressed a press conference. He spoke for 10 minutes and what he said was he met the sisters extremely unhappy because the sisters feel a campaign to malign the family is on. Why so? Because a lot of talk has happened right now. India Today has also carried with bona fide evidence, which, mind you, Vikas Singh has admitted to, where we said that Priyanka, his sister, had given him prescription drugs illegally. He did admit that she did give him prescription drugs because she herself suffered from anxiety and he was feeling anxious on the 8th morning. So she did arrange a prescription of the same drugs that she takes for anxiety for him. He also said, as per the sisters, that Sushant Singh Rajput's mental health was completely fine till 2019, right before he met Rhea. As per Vikas Singh, the family's lawyer, it was Rhea who was responsible for the mental health or the failing mental health of Sushant Singh Rajput. It is only after Sushant met Rhea that his mental health deteriorated. When we asked him about the statements made by the sisters, which were with the Mumbai police and then, of course, handed to the CBI as statements made. And in those statements, the sisters have clearly said that in 2013 was the first time that Sushant Singh Rajput actually saw a psychiatrist. He was suffering from being low, from other mental issues since 2013. He said that the Mumbai police recorded their statement in Marathi and he doesn't trust them. So he clearly said that possibly Mumbai police made up that statement. On the other account, he said that there must be one odd incident in 2013, but it was only after 2019 meeting Rhea that there was a sudden deterioration in Sushant's mental health. I want to cut across to Devesh, my colleague, who's joining us for a very quick update on this. Devesh, quickly encapsulate for our viewers. You have Vikas Singh who says a campaign is being run to malign the sisters. However, if you take up the Mumbai police statement, which is now in the custody of the CBI, in which it's very clear that in 2013 itself, the sisters had admitted that Sushant Singh Rajput was suffering from mental illness and seeing psychiatrists. Here, Vikas Singh says it was recorded in Marathi and there is very little trust on the Mumbai police on what was recorded.
Preeti, 3 points that I would like to bring to the notice of our viewers. First thing, 2013, as mentioned in the Mumbai police's statement, while there is Dr. Harish Shetty's statement as well, where he also talks about Sushant Singh Rajput coming to see him complaining of sleeplessness and insomnia. After that, he prescribed a medication which is monodopil, which has also come to light in Rhea Chakraborty's interview to India Today, where she said, mentioned about this particular drug, that Sushant always had this drug with him. Second thing, in November 2019, the three sisters had come to meet Sushant Singh Rajput because he was not feeling well. That has come to light in the statement of not only the three sisters, but also in statements of Samuel Miranda, where he says that the sisters had come to meet him in Mumbai and also talked to him about getting treatment. After that, in January, Sushant travelled to Chandigarh, and that has also come to light in Rhea Chakraborty, Samuel Miranda's and Siddharth Pitani's statement that in January, Sushant had travelled to
Devesh, I'm going to cut you short.
Chandigarh,
and the reason I'm cutting you short is because I have Satish Maneshinde. I apologize. I'm going to cut you short. I want to cut across to Satish Maneshinde. He's Rhea Chakraborty's lawyer. He's joining us right now. Mr. Maneshinde, I do hope you heard, or otherwise I can elucidate the points that were made by Vikas Singh. Let's quickly go one by one through all. With what we were talking about, lastly, he had said that we have statements, Mr. Maneshinde, which clearly seem to suggest that all three sisters to the Mumbai police said, yes, Sushant was suffering from mental illness all the way back in 2013, where he was seeing a psychiatrist. Vikas Singh today says that Mumbai police took down the statements in Marathi. He doesn't trust them, that they did their job correctly.
Well, the learned advocate, Mr. Vikas Singh, says, for the simple reason that at no point of time had they made any complaint in the Supreme Court, or the statements were recorded almost 2.5 months back before the police on 16th of June 2020. Those statements were explained to him, explained to the sisters, and till today there has been no complaint. Now it is too late in the day to say that I did not understand the contents of those statements, because it is a foregone conclusion that investigations in every state take place according to the state language. And all the statements, if I go to Tamil Nadu, if I go to Karnataka, if I go to Andhra Pradesh, or if I go to UP or to Assam, it is recorded in the local language of that particular state. If at all they had an objection, if at all they did not understand the contents of the statements they had signed, which they said that they had understood when they signed those statements, I can't understand how anybody can go back on that. And whatever is recorded there will be taken into consideration by the CBI, and I'm sure the CBI will investigate. Now, at no point of time, either in the Supreme Court or before any other fora, the family or the sisters ever made a statement that they did not understand the contents of the statement. So I can't now match my arguments with my learned friend. If he has to say that, people can understand what the consequences are.
Mr. Maneshinde, I want to ask you, you have Vikas Singh, who has gone ahead and stated that Sushant was completely fine till 2019. He had one minor incident as per Vikas Singh in 2013, which was very normal. All of us can have those mental incidents. It was only after meeting Rhea did his situation deteriorate to what it had.
See, I'm not an expert on mental health. My friend Mr. Vikas Singh appears to have gained expertise in all fields, including mental health. These questions will be answered by those 5 doctors who are treating him, because it is not something which can be, acquired by a person by meeting somebody. This is a genetical problem. And I'm sure those doctors who are going to depose before the police and the CBI will state as to what the consequences are of a person meeting a person in life, or whether these ailments are acquired for a period of time. Now, if Mr. Vikas Singh says that this is only after Rhea met him and the medicine started only after Rhea met him, I don't know what Sushant Singh was doing when he met Dr. Shetty. Dr. Shetty, whom he consulted in 2013, I'm sure will come and depose before the police and the court. And truth will be out one day. I'm only waiting for it.
Mr. Maneshinde, I want to ask you the third point which he made in this. He said, yes, it was communicated by Shruti Modi once in terms of the prescription or the drugs that Sushant was on. He says medicines were told to the family, but the disease was never confirmed. Every time the family asked Rhea through WhatsApp or other exchange that she provide the family, the papers, all other data which pertains to his diagnosis, that was never given. But offhand, sometimes medicines were said that, okay, he's taking this medicines. But they repeatedly asked Rhea and the staff members like Shruti for bona fide documents which actually tell the disease, the diagnosis. That was never given, always hid by Rhea.
I really don't want to comment and go to him and go and give him importance to rebut every point by point that he has done. Ultimately, the investigations will reveal the picture is totally different. Truth will come out one by one. You wait for some time.
Mr. Maneshinde, just one more question I'll ask you, sir, before I let you go. Because Rhea, when she spoke to us, had also very clearly said that I wanted the family to be involved. I wanted the family to actually know what was going on. Did she do that? She said in November 2019, she did sit across the sisters. She did want them to see all the papers. She actually handed over the papers to them. Did she do it?
Well, you see, Rhea has made a statement, not only to Mumbai police, but to ED and CBI, that when the sisters came to Waterstone to meet him, she had a discussion with the entire family, whoever was there, explained to them the position. If even this is not being admitted, and on what basis did the sister get a message from Shruti? And I'm sure a person like Shruti will have made a statement before the CBI as to what happened and since when he's Shruti used to fix the appointments with the doctors. Shruti will tell the CBI as to since when she was fixing those appointments, whether it was prior to Rhea meeting him or subsequently thereafter. And I can't think of wasting time giving a reply to all these questions.
All right, Mr. Maneshinde, appreciate you joining us. Thank you there. We're going to now cut across to Varun Singh. Now, he is the lawyer, Vikas Singh's son, in just 2 minutes. Before I do that, appreciate you joining us, Mr. Maneshinde. I want to bring in my colleague Sahil Joshi, who is joining us, our Mumbai Bureau Chief. Sahil, you know, very pointed claims made by Vikas Singh. He says a concerted campaign is now being run to bring the family down. Take us through each point and how clearly the sisters themselves have contradicted that point. And there's documentary evidence playing out right now on a television screen.
You know, if you take out the statements given by the family lawyer, because the family herself, themselves never spoke on camera or to the media, their lawyer has been speaking to the media, and we have played those reactions from Mr. Vikas Singh, who has been clearly saying that he had never had any kind of a history, which when we came out with the statement of Dr. Harish Shetty, who had examined him in 2013, and he had complained about insomnia and various other issues. He had made that very clear in his statement to the police. Now he's accepting, in a very mild manner that he might be having some kind of a problems. He's still not accepting that in 2013 he had met with Dr. Harish Shetty. More than that, in Priyanka's statement to Mumbai police, which now they claim that they didn't know what was written and they were asked to sign, which they never took out in during Supreme Court hearing of this particular case. But in that also she had said that yes, he had met with some doctor in Andheri, and Dr. Harish Shetty's clinic is in Andheri, Veleparle. So obviously she was mentioning specifically about Dr. Harish Shetty. And more importantly, on 8th of June, the prescription from the Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital. Now he says that because of COVID time, that particular prescription was taken from Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital. But there are certain procedures, because on that prescription, if you can see, it is specifically mentioned that Sushant Singh Rajput met the doctor in OPD, and after that, this particular prescription has been issued. In fact, the assistant of the doctor had told India Today that time that because they are family friends, in a good faith, that particular prescription was given. And look at the medicines which have been given. So that clearly shows that they knew from what he is suffering from. Those chats are now available in the public domain. The chat clearly mentions that she knew that she had first told him that he should be taking so-and-so medicines. After that, when Sushant asked Priyanka that these medicines he cannot get without prescription. Right. After that, she managed that particular prescription from Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital and sent it to Sushant Singh Rajput. So that and she also mentions that it will remain confidential. Those chats are now available in the public domain. So there is no smear campaign. This is what had happened. The family lawyer, I'm not saying the family because the family never came forward to speak, but the family lawyer had always maintained that there is no such thing of mental illness. How come suddenly he got ill? Various videos which have been given by the family to indicate that he was very happy and never had any kind of an issue. All these things, when countered, now this press conference is happening, Preeti.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Sahil. We're going to continue to come back to you. So you heard both sides. You heard Vikas Singh, the lawyer of Sushant Singh Rajput, making charges. He says that a campaign is now being orchestrated to bring down or malign the family of Sushant Singh Rajput. However, certain facts are there and they would be put out whether they are comfortable or uncomfortable. Because as a journalist, one needs to do their duty by presenting all sides of the story. You might believe just one narrative, but would you be doing justice to the memory of Sushant Singh Rajput if you do not hear all possible narratives and angles? A quick break to stay with us. Up next is Rahul Kanwar.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kanwar here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.